Okay, everyone, welcome to another edition of the Everyday Hustle Show. This is officially the 13th recorded episode.
Yeah.
We have a special guest in the house tonight. But before we get there, Christian, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man.
That's it?
That's it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll.
All right, he's ready to roll. We got Jesse is here in the other room checking the levels. So he can't say what's up right now, but once he checks the levels and makes sure that we all sound amazing, he'll be back out here. First thing I wanted to do is just, if anyone has listened to the show and has benefited from it in any way, shape, or form, if you can relate to it, if you applied anything, that we talked about in your personal life, what I want you to do is to write a review in the iTunes store. There's about 5 reviews, and 4 of them were from January. So we're hoping to get some recent feedback from the listeners, anybody who checked out the show, on iTunes. If you could please just go, rate it honestly. We're not asking you to give 5 stars and praise everybody and praise everything that we're doing. We just want honest feedback so we can tailor the show and what we're doing to benefit the listener more. Even if they're, the audience is small, there is an audience, so we would appreciate a little bit of feedback and just let us know what you're thinking of the show. So now that we got that over with, I'm feeling great tonight. I'm feeling good. It's Saturday, where we're gonna release this episode Sunday, which means everything that you guys are hearing is pretty much just as good as live. It'll be 24 hours that we recorded it and then released it. It's been a great day so far. Started my day off at the gym. Pulled a muscle in my back because I was trying to deadlift heavy when I don't ever do that. Thanks, Matt, if you're listening. Thank you, Matt. And then we got to spend the day on the lake, and I was filming a little vlog, while we were out there, which is going to be fun to put together. So if anybody's into video stuff, I'll put a link in the description for my YouTube or Instagram or something like that. But good day nonetheless, beautiful weather here, and we have Paul on the show tonight. Yeah. Paul was a coworker, but also a good friend of mine. And he's been kind of following along in the journey, for the past 3 to 4 months or so. And I know that he's been reading some of the books and listening to some of the episodes and checking out some of the stuff that we've been talking about, content-wise and other podcasts and stuff that he's been applying into his life. So I just wanted to kind of have him out here and, pick his brain about some things that are going on in his life. So how's it going, Paul?
It's a blessed day. Every day, is a good day when you wake up.
That's right.
That's right, man.
That's right. So yeah, I know that you're a new father. That's the first thing I want to talk about. How old is your daughter?
She's 8 months. She just turned 8 months.
Okay, 8 months. And I know
Congrats,
that.
Man.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Yeah. And I know that when she was first born, there was complications and all that stuff, which was a long struggle for you guys. And I know that you're kind of on the other end of that now. I just wanted to talk to you because this is something that my wife is at the point right now where she's ready to have children, and I love talking about this type of stuff because it's real, and what is your first 6-9 months of being a father like?
Drastic change.
Drastic change.
Yes, it's not only about me anymore.
Yep.
And for the longest time, it's like I'm a very selfish person. So to kind of try to get out of those behaviors is not easy. But it's something that I try to practice daily. Because it's about her. Like everything I do now is for my family. And it's crazy because for 26 years, 25 years, it's been about me, so it's a drastic change, but it's a beautiful change.
Now? 27 years young.
Yep.
Damn. So does that, when you went to the transition of, like you were saying, being selfish prior and then, now you have someone you have to take care of, does that make your decisions, does that kind of guide your decisions with fear, or more so you're more, I guess, trying to do things with a certain level of intent and to be intelligent about your moves?
Yeah, so before I had the kid, my daughter, her name's Luna, I would spend money on shoes
I seen that.
Yeah, you see my collection. I have a dedicated shoe room in my house, but you know, ever since she came in and a little bit before, my spending habits drastically changed. Formula's fucking expensive.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I order 3 things of formula for a month and it's like $130, and then you got like fruits and vegetables, because it's not just formula now, so it's drastic. Diapers, I was blessed in the beginning, from the baby shower, like I've stockpiled a closet full of diapers, but we're getting to the point where it's like diapers are gonna come into play, and so it's just everything has to change. It's it's not like if it's gonna change, it's changed, because
I wonder if they have like a Dollar Shave Club for like diapers or anything like that.
They'd probably make a killing
somewhere,
because they're
cool.
expensive.
Yeah.
It was cool what I found out though, because we, when you have a baby shower and stuff, everybody gets you all these different types of diapers, and you can go to Target and just exchange it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you exchange over $100, they flag you. For 6 months or something.
This guy's doing something shady.
They're like, no.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and so before, I guess to kind of backtrack before that, in terms of your career and stuff like that, how long have you been in Florida for?
Just a little under 6 years. 5.5 years.
And what's your career life been like?
When I first came down here, it was working kind of dead-end jobs. I think my first job down here was Finish Line. And to me, when I was coming down here, it was a dream job.
Yeah.
Because I loved shoes. And now I get to sell shoes and then get a discount on shoes.
Yeah.
And then when the releases came out, I got first dibs. So I was making $7 an hour, working 40 hours every 2 weeks, 20 hours a week.
Shit, damn.
Making no money, but spending my whole check on a pair of shoes. That's where my priorities were.
Yeah.
I didn't care about anything else. I just needed the newest J's out, and I was okay. If I didn't eat, straight. I had EBT when I first came down, so I was all right. And
as long as you had the fresh J's.
As long as I had shoes, I was,
food stamps for all the listeners who aren't aware what EBT is.
As long as you had the fresh J's.
Yeah, I was living off the government for probably the first year and a half.
That was what, 2011? 2012?
2012, yeah.
Yeah, so you were probably making in retail, probably $8-9 an hour?
I was making 7 something.
Yeah.
And then you sell the socks and you sell the shoe cleaner,
Yeah, upsell.
Yeah. So you upsell the shit out of them, extra $1 or something. So I would sell the shit out of them, but it really didn't make a huge difference, So, but I sold the shit out of them.
And then from there?
From there, actually, I had the opportunity, they were talking about management. When I get into a job, I can learn the trade really quick. I usually get into jobs, I have no idea what's going on, but I can pick up and progress really fast. And he was talking to me about managers or whatever, and then I ended up getting fired because one of the managers, we always work the same schedule, and she switched the schedule, and I didn't call in or anything like that. I just assumed it was my day off and went about it a normal day, and they're yeah, no, you were supposed to be here the last 2 days actually. So I got 2 no call, no shows. And when I first came down here, my habit was I would work and then take a really long break.
Yeah.
How long?
At least 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Get your mind right, or?
No, I was just pure laziness,
Shit.
And that's just where I was. And then I got a job at where was it? Caribbean Cruise Line, selling vacations. The go-to of South Florida.
That sounds awesome.
tropical
I
shit.
was thinking you meant on.
You're selling the 2-day, 3-night Bahama Breeze Caribbean cruise.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Panoramic views, but you just gotta look left and right out of the porthole in your room. It's panoramic.
The good old porthole.
Yeah, just pay port fees.
And how long you did that for?
I did that for about 6 or 7 months, and I did really good at it actually. Once again, I pick up, I progress. I'm not afraid to ask questions. One thing I've always learned is remain teachable, because you don't know everything.
Right.
So I try to learn as much as I can, and I did really well in that job. But it came to a point like those type of call centers, in my experience, it's just a shit show.
Yeah.
Like inside the room, you know, people are getting high, there's drugs, you know. So it came to a point where it was just like, what am I really want to do? Like I was making good money, but at the point like I didn't want to be around like what was going on. So, you know, I called it quits. And
like what was going on? Like drugs and shady stuff?
yeah, I remember walking one day like, listen, if people want to smoke weed and shit like that, like that doesn't bother me, you know? But like when like you walk into your desk and like you have like, they always have like the script on there.
Yeah.
And like I flipped open the script and it was just like, you know, a half of a straw.
Yep.
Not a full straw,
Yeah.
half of a straw. So I was just
Someone was
like,
drinking their iced coffee with it, right?
yeah, small sips through their nose.
Yep.
You know, they're doing nose beers.
There you go.
And I was just like, I sat there and it, like, just like that, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And like, I left. And that company actually sent me a letter because the CEO like got indicted for like embezzlement and stuff.
Damn.
So that's how that went. And you know, I took a couple months off and I got introduced to the field that I've been in the last 5 years. And that's like the substance abuse, mental health. And I came here through, you know, a PPO insurance. You know, I was struggling up back in New Jersey. I couldn't keep a needle out of my arm. So I came down here September 11th in 2012 through a treatment center, and I was like number 9 in the whole program, so it was brand new. And I've been through treatment before, and prior going into the treatment center, like I said, like I could pick up things really fast. So like my first time going through treatment, like I picked it up. I knew what to say, how to say it, when to say, when not to say, you know, to show like I was progressing, you know, but really I was just going through the motions to like get back home and like continue ripping and running. And so I did that. So I went to detox, and I'll never forget, dude, they had like a junkie Jeopardy.
What? That's what they called it?
It was pretty much what it was. It was like the Jeopardy game, just with all junkie questions, you know? Like, how much is a bundle? You know, this crazy thing.
What?
And I won it. I'm in detox, and I won it.
And what'd you win?
I won like a travel bag of like shampoo and like a comb.
Damn.
I shit you not though. I walked around that fucking detox like I was the fucking man.
With
Like, you can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
Like I could do your job.
You were the best junkie
Oh
in the
my
detox.
god. Yeah, I earned it.
You graduated.
Like, yeah, I was like, look what I got. You know?
Yeah.
And this tech pulled me aside, and he's like, yo, he's like, you know a lot of shit, yeah. He's like, as much as you think you know, you don't know shit. I was like, and it took me back. I was like, fuck. You know, because I've been through this before, and I do know a lot of it, but I don't know how to, you know, practice it in my life.
Right.
And like, tell you the truth, like in that detox, like I had no intentions of getting clean. Like, I remember they had like a community phone. Prior to coming, I had a job at Dollar General for like 3 days. You know, my mom thought I was clean. You know, she like helped me open up a bank account, put like $200 in there. You know, and I made it like 3 days. Like the first day on the job, like I was high. I was starting to get sick. I said I was going to lunch, and like that lunch lasted like 4 hours. You know, they're like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, you know, I got pulled over, and you know, I got a flat tire, and like all this other crazy stuff. And like the second day, I was late like 2 hours. Oh, I got another flat tire. Like, oh. And then they asked me to work
Worse
overnight.
luck with tires.
Yeah.
It's just nails everywhere.
You should probably take the bus. Like, yeah. But I didn't even have a car. Like, I would use my mom's car. And
You got a flat tire, Paul? We saw you pull up with a bicycle, though. No, that's what I mean. I got a flat tire on my bicycle. I had to go to Kmart and get a tube.
My chain popped.
See my greasy hands?
Yeah. And then, like, they asked me to work overnight. Now, mind you, I'm in
Dollar General?
Yeah.
They're closed overnight.
Yeah,
right?
there's like stock
So
to sell.
you're stocked.
Yeah.
So, like, mind you, I'm like inactive addiction, but like no way you're asking me to do that. Like, this is Dollar General, first of all. Like, I'm not like working till 6
The
a.m.
warehouse?
Probably
No, like in a store, you know?
Probably the worst possible job you could ever have.
But I couldn't even maintain it.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an easy job, but I couldn't maintain it because the only thing I was trying to maintain was like my habit. But so they asked me to work the overnight, and I was like, no. So my mom was like, oh, you're going to work? I was like, no, I got fired. She's like, for what? I was like, I was just walking through like the candy aisle, and like I took some of their candy and like I ate it, and they were like, you can't do that. We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Damn.
I was like, all right. But so like maybe like a week later, like I went to detox, and so it brought me. So where I was getting at was I didn't want to stay clean, and I had the debit card. I had a couple like 200 or 300, maybe like 200. My mom didn't trust me that much, and I had no intentions to stay clean, and they had this community phone. So it was like day 3 or something. I'm like, all right, I'm in South Florida. I have a little bit of money. It's not going to get me far, but I'd like do the job. Let me take overdraft protection off. Extend this a little bit.
Yep.
And then like I won the Jeopardy. The tech like basically put me in my place, and I was just like, all right, let me give this a shot.
Yeah.
And I've been clean ever since. Side note, I forgot that I took overdraft protection off. So I was spending like in the beginning like $40 for a pack of Newports.
Yeah,
I think I still owe that bank like $1,000.
That's what got me.
For overdraft.
I'm still having to pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
recovery is an intriguing topic, you know, and like the last, you know, couple guys that we had on the show had kind of opened up and talked about it, and I think it's really cool when, you know, guys come on and, you know, open up and talk about that type of stuff, because, you know, a lot of people are kind of like ashamed of their past, you know, a lot of people like don't want to, you know, disclose that type of stuff, but, you know, when it's part of your story and you kind of, you know, you have to talk about it,
it's
because
like it's your life.
there's really
you know?
no other way to tell you how I got from here to here, because this was the fucking beginning. Was I had to stop destroying my life, you know. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's you know, the stigma behind, you know, addiction is so bad, but it's because, you know, what you see on TV and the news, it's like, oh, a couple of junkies broke into a house or they robbed a bank. You know, they only show one side. They don't really ever show like, unless you watch like Dr. Phil or something, like, oh, they're going to treatment.
So like being
you know?
in recovery and having the experience with, you know, active addiction and living clean, do you feel like that helped you like progress in your career, like working in that industry?
Oh my God, 110%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
First of all, this is like probably one of the only industries you could not graduate high school or barely graduate high school. I barely made it through high school. Like, as soon as I graduated, I was like off to my first rehab, you know? And, but like, what they say, one addict helping another is like without parallel. So I applied that, like, so when I left this treatment center and I went through those jobs, you know, I always kept people in my corner, you know, no matter what. Like, I always wanted the right people in my corner, because if I ever needed them, like, I know I have good people to, you know, surround myself with. And I made really good friends with the owner, and I had like 7 months. Normally you need like 9 months to a year, you know, starting treatment.
Minimum, usually 1 to 2.
So she took a shot on me and gave me a job as a tech, you know, a behavioral health technician, where basically you're a babysitter. You know, you escort the clients around, you know, to meetings, shopping, and things like that, and you know, you just work your 9 to 5 or 3 to 12 or something. You know, you go home and call it a day. And had a really great supervisor, and he's like, yo, like, you know, this is a business, but it's a business of helping people, but treat it as a business as well, you know, because nobody's gonna, you know, you have to protect the owner's interest. You know, their you know, pure interest is in helping people. It's the added benefit, you know, just like any job or like any industry that is there, even a hospital, you know, they're getting paid, you know, to treat you. So in this industry, people get cold feet, people get thoughts of using, people want to leave, you know. So I've always would, you know, no matter what I was doing or even what level of like position I had in a company, like in this industry, I would take the time out if somebody wanted to leave or was going through something to, you know, just talk with them.
Right.
9 times out of 10, they just want somebody to talk to. So I would do that. And one, I'm helping somebody, like, you know, solidify why they made the decision to come here, as well as, you know, protecting the company, you know, because without clients, you know, there's no business, you know. So, and that's how I progressed so fast. You know, I wouldn't, no matter like where I was at in like the corporate structure, like I would take some time out and talk to her, however long I needed, you know, to make sure that client doesn't leave.
Yeah.
Because if they leave, the likelihood of them dying is crazy.
Yeah.
And I've been in the industry a very long time. I've witnessed people walk out and never come back. And it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to like process, and like you just, you know, you think about the family, and, you know, just, you know, you got to like kind of like, you know, really like see somebody like super raw, you know, like fresh, like miserable, broken, you know, and like the beauty in it is like once they, you know, they get clean.
Yeah.
But you know, the other side is, you know, people die.
Yeah.
That's just the fact of it, and it's a scary fact, but you know, it's reality.
Yeah, I worked in that too for like two jobs ago. I was a
I think we all have. I think everybody but Jesse has.
Yeah, usually if you come down to Florida for treatment,
Yeah.
you end up in like a treatment center or a call center. It's one or the other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because obviously you're going through a transition right now, because, you know, we both got laid off from our jobs the same day. You know, so that was probably about, what was it, 5 weeks ago? About 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, early retirement.
Yeah. This is one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because I've been in like a particularly great place this past month, and I just wanted to see, like, you know, what the past month has been like for you, because obviously you just said it yourself, you were in the same industry, the same field for 5 years, you know. So now you're at a point, it seems like you're at like a pivotal point in your life, you know, recovery, professional career, where it's, you know, do I stay on this path and continue to work in this industry, or do I try something else? And you've had, you know, 5 weeks to kind of, you know, think about what you want to do, and you know your journey this far. So I mean, like, mentally, where have you been at? You know, how's your relationship been? How has, you know, time with your daughter been in the past month that you've been just doing your own thing?
Well, I could tell you this, if it was about, I mean, because we worked together, you saw like how I was, you know what I mean? Like, there was like a couple months like I was absolutely fucking miserable, you know? And you guys said it in the podcast the other day, or a couple weeks ago or whatever, you know, you get what you kind of put out. And I was just like, you know, I've talked to like JD and Dennis and even you know what I mean? Like, oh, fire me, like, you know, I don't care. And, you know, and I would say that shit to my girl, and she's like, you know, be careful what you pray for, you know? Dude. And as soon as it happened, she's like, you see? Yep. I was like, oh, you piece of shit.
It's so true, man. What you put out in the universe, it comes back to you, you know?
Yeah, and so like it went on for a while, dude, and it was like all of us too. We all kind of like, Drew, you know, he would get into it a little bit, but like he would not feed into it. Like I would really feed into it, you know what I mean? And
just like the negativity.
Yeah,
and
you know, it was just, like, you know, you could feel it, you know, it was like just
bad energy.
Yeah, and then like JD and Dennis pulled me in, and like I freaked out a little bit, you know, and like, but we, you know, cool. And this is like probably like you guys started doing like this and like the 12 project, and like I don't read at all, and I didn't like start reading right then and there, but like seeing Andrew and being around him for so long, like he's a very positive person to be around. And like in the beginning, like I wanted nothing to do with like all the positivity, because I was like, this is like, it's fucking fake, first of all. Like nobody is like fucking rainbow and sunshines all the time. But like, yo, it kind of rubbed off. And like I remember, what was it? I was at work, and the owner of the company came down. I'm like on like YouTube or some shit. I was actually, yeah, it was. I was on YouTube learning about fixing, like, you know, getting a better credit score, you know? So I was like, I was like,
shit to be doing while you're at work.
Yeah, I was like dicking around, but like trying to better, like, you know, trying to better my credit
around,
score.
but like halfway dicking.
Yeah, you know? It wasn't for the company, it was more personal, but it was like, you know, trying to make my person better, you know? And So he like freaked out or whatever. And then you think you would learn, but you always gotta touch the stove, make sure it's hot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before I ended up getting let go. And it was like a Sunday. The owner never comes on a Sunday. Like he only used to come in a Sunday like when we first opened, And I'm like on Amazon Video, like watching like some Denzel Washington movie.
What the?
And like you ever just get so deep into something, like you don't know if somebody's around you.
Yeah.
But they're, they go,
You can feel their presence.
yeah, and you just look over. He's like, "What's up?" And I was just like, "Another day in paradise." Just continue watching the movie and just sit there. You're like, "Fuck it." And he didn't really say anything, but Dennis was in the office, and Dennis caught the brunt of it. And then he called me.
Okay.
I was like, "Oh shit, listen, man, I'm sorry. It won't happen again." He's like, "No, you motherfucker, you did it before. What the fuck?" I was like, "You're right." So I like made a conscious decision, like I'm not gonna fucking do this anymore. And we had that talk with Dennis and JD, and I'm gonna kind of change my attitude. I was unhappy, because I was getting to a point like I don't want to build anybody else's dream. I want to build my own dream, and I want.
What's that book? Just for anybody who might be interested, you were reading a book at that time.
Oh, the 7 Mistakes.
7 Mistakes.
So this is like that's when the first book I finished reading. I started this book called Living Clean, and I finished it. And this is like you guys been starting your 12 book project. So I was like, all right, I finished it. Like I set like that little goal for me, like I'm gonna finish it. So like when there was nothing to do at work, like I would just read it, because like listen, like if he's gonna like bash me for reading, like I could just like I don't want to sit there twiddling my thumbs.
Right.
But like it was slow at days, like really bad, like slow. There's only so many emails.
It's like that. It's like that in any business.
Yeah. So I figured listen, obviously videos and movies and trying to better your credit score is a no-go. Let me try a book. So I finished that book and I went to Barnes and Nobles for like I've been in Barnes and Nobles before, but never to look at like books like maybe it was like in the mall and like I had to go through it, and I'm in there for like an hour and a half, like straight fish out of water, not knowing what I was looking actually for the 10X, so I was gonna do it, but they didn't have it.
Really?
Yeah. It's like they said they had 2 copies, but they couldn't find it. So like I'm in the self-help and I'm just getting so frustrated because like I don't know what to do. Like what book is this the right book? This is
there's a lot of options.
There's so many options.
Dude,
it's just like
so
much. And like I don't read. I don't go to libraries. Like I'm in a big bookstore. And there's like a bunch of like Asians that are like studying to be doctors. And like I'm feeling intimidated,
right?
So I get to the point. My girl's calling me. She's like, dinner's ready. Where are you? I'm like, I'm still here. She's like, what the fuck? She's like, come home. So like, I'm like by the front, and I just see 7 Mistakes, and I was like, grabbed it. I shit you not. If it wasn't for that book, and it completely like changed my perspective. It was a cool book because it was written, in like a fictional setting. It was like a story behind like each mistake. It was like the guy starts like he was miserable, he was at a job, he felt like everybody was out to get him. His boss hated him, and like he stumbled upon like this girl, and she like dropped this piece of paper and said like go to this coffee shop for like a meeting like next week or something. So he's like, hopefully I meet this girl. Well, it wasn't this girl. It was like this guy who's like been like enlisted to like protect like these 7 mistakes. And like throughout the book, it's just like a constant of how you're perceiving things. Who you're surrounding yourself. Around. Like there's one part of he had one group of friends. When you go out to like eat or have drinks or whatever, they're just bashing their job and how miserable they are and
negative
stuff. And then like he's like, it was like about like you are who you surround yourself with. So if you can surround yourself with negative people or positive people, and like so it's throughout that. So without that book, like it completely changed my perspective. So I finished that book and like I got let go.
Mm.
And like that whole book was like everything I was going through up until that point. You know, because I wanted to leave eventually. You know, I had more responsibilities obviously this time. You know, even though I was miserable, like I needed a check.
Right.
So it just worked. You know, it didn't happen how I wanted it, but you know, it's like they said, God doing for you, what you can't do for yourself.
Yeah, that's life in general. It never happens the way that you.
No.
It never happens the way that you want it to. Never happens the way that you think it would happen. It just happens the way that it's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah. And I was scared. You know, like, you know, I was super scared.
Yeah, because you thought about your kid, you thought about
dude, I bought a house.
Yep.
Like I'll be in my house for a year next month.
Yeah. And what did you do? So what did you do that first week that you got let off?
I hustled.
Okay.
I grinded. You know, I had some side hustles going on. I can't get too much into it, but you know, it's being in this industry. Your name, your reputation's everything. You know, South Florida, you know, has a bad reputation for the treatment industry. There's a lot of fucked up shit that goes on.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I probably didn't start off with this company, it could have been me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the money's there, you know, especially in its heyday. It was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
You know, just like anything that starts off in South Florida, you know, it gets crazy. And then like they pull it back.
Right.
So, you know, I was like doing outreach for this company, and it, like my job title, it is what it is, but like when it came down to it, you know, it's a business to business relationship, you know what I mean? Like
So you have a lot of contacts.
Yeah, definitely a lot of contacts. And what I was doing, and like I had like one view on it, and then, you know, somebody said, you know, the relationships that you have right now, like they're gonna like help you move forward. And I kind of like applied that because a lot of people that I know are like in the industry, and for like what I have to offer now, like they need.
Right.
So like the first week, like it was, I hit the ground running, you know, set up like 10 meetings in like the first week and a half, and it's been good.
Okay.
It's been good.
And then what about everything else, like personal wise, attitude wise, you know, perspective on the world and things like that, and your relationship with your, you know, your girlfriend and like all that stuff. I mean, how is all? Because I know for me, you know, and I know you had to commute a long ways. We were in the office a good amount of time. You know, we probably spent between driving and being there, you know, between 60 and 70 hours a week. And I know for me that there was a lot of different areas in my life that suffered because of that, you know, sacrifice that we made. So, I mean, like, how has all that other stuff been affected in the past, you know?
Well, you know, working in the industry and being like in the corporate model and like upper management, you know, obviously you have more responsibilities, there's more hours and things like that. And I'm the type of person, like, it's very hard for me to find balance. So like, I'm working, you know, and then by the time I get home, I don't want to do anything else.
Right.
And I wish I could tell you guys, like, oh, you know, I got laid off and like, you know, it was, you know, I got to spend all this time with my girl, which I did. You know what I mean? I got to spend time with my daughter, and it's great. But dude, she hit me with it the other night. She's like, you're here, but like you're not present. And like I can get so wrapped up into my phone, you know, just hours. There's some days I don't even watch TV because like I'm watching like Facebook videos, you know, like, and she just shit all over me. And you know, I wanted to get like defensive and like start an argument, but like she's right. Yeah. You know, I'm not present. So it's like one of those things where, you know, I'm trying to work on it. Yeah. You know, but I'm just so used to like, because she's very understanding. Like in the beginning, you know, a lot of it I worked through my phone, and so, you know, I had that go too. Like, oh, it's work. She's like, listen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
So she shit all over that too.
Listen, I know people who don't even work right now and who are still using that excuse.
Yeah, I tried it,
and it really pisses me off because it's like, you know, sometimes you just like want to connect with another human being on like a human to human level, and it's like you can't even do that. So it's like, what's the point of even being here. Like I could be somewhere else. There's no point.
Yeah, trust me, she made that very valid. Because she's the type of girl like she.
And I'm not saying that I don't do it. I'm just saying that like like sometimes it's just like, dude, what's the fucking point?
I mean, it's pretty easy though in the society we live in. Like it's become such a thing. I'm kind of like, it makes you think about like what kids nowadays are gonna grow up to be, and that fucking social media shit. It's become a whole fucking thing.
Bro, my daughter's 8 months old.
She already got an iPhone.
But no, I swear to God, dude, we have all these toys all over the house or whatever. She'll be like crawling, or like we'll have her on her lap, and like I'm on my phone, and like, I have my phone in my hand. She just goes for it.
Yeah.
She just chews on it.
Yeah.
$1,000 chew toy.
That's
all lights. She wants. I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm screwed.
My niece is like that. We got her, or my mom got her like an iPad, and she's like 6, but like they had to take it away from her because she could like, she'd be so present, and then she gets a hold of that thing, and you can talk to her, and she just like
my nephew,
zombie like
my nephew the
stares
same way. He's like 9, and he's just he's really good at games. He loves his iPad. You know, if you take it away, he goes nuts. You know, like for me, when I was growing up, I had to like lie to my mom like that I got like a Virgin Mobile slide. Like you take to the kiosk and get pimped out.
You know, I don't know, 'cause I don't have children, but you know, my sister has. She's gonna be 3 in July. Same way, like iPad. Like she's always asking for the iPad. You know, it like runs off the hotspot off the dad's phone. You know, and she's always watching YouTube. And like, dude, she'll just go like click videos, and like can operate this, you know, computer. And like, I always see those weird articles about like how like, you know, iPads are this, iPads are that. Like, are they good or bad? I mean, who the hell?
Well, yeah, there's some people that say like the future is going to be technology based anyway. So it's like Gary Vee always says, like, why are you going to stunt someone's growth in that technology? But who knows? Who knows?
Like balance with like real life like activities and like fucking being a fucking kid. Like,
dude, the future's probably gonna be us just living in a virtual world anyways. Probably not anytime soon, but
so you were not working, not going to work, but still kind of you know, struggling with the whole being present, you know, with the, which is kind of crazy because it was the exact opposite for me. I got compliments on it. You know, I got compliments on how present I've been, but that's also because like, okay, so I don't have a child, you know, I don't have, you know, and my wife is, you know, I'm blessed enough to be in a place where, you know, she's, you know, financially able to, you know, cover what we need to live and function and operate and, you know, be safe for now. And I can kind of take time to develop and learn and reflect and all that stuff. So I guess that's where my mindset is a little bit different. But I think that's interesting that, you know, just because you stop a job or you stop this, it doesn't mean that like, you know, you're totally going to change. I mean, that type of stuff doesn't happen, you know, overnight.
It takes time, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Practice, time.
So what's your, I know you don't want to talk too much about your next move, but I mean, what are you thinking? Are you going to stay in the industry, or are you going to make a change? Or, I mean, dude, I know you're passionate about like shoes and clothes and stuff like that, man. I just really wish that you could, you know, find some way to make money doing that, because I feel like that would be so awesome for you.
There's definitely money to be made. Yeah. I've seen it. Like, you know, it'd be cool one day if I get like, you know, financially secure enough. Like, I would love to have my own sneaker shop and stuff.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that.
If you could create a shop, like a storefront that looks like your showroom, because I've seen your showroom personally, like it looks amazing. Like if you could have a retail setting that looks like that. You know, I know there's some like, you know, little niche like sneaker shops that do well with resale and stuff like that, but I feel like it's challenging.
I just want to keep them all.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what it is. You know? So it's like hard to sell it.
Yeah.
Like,
can't get high on your own spot.
No, I'm not saying sell your own stuff. I'm saying like, you know, buy and sell shoes or you know, have a storefront for, you know, clothing and shoes. Yeah,
I could definitely see that like some point down in the future. Yeah. You know, just a little hobby, you know what I mean? If I make money, great. If not, like I don't care. It's just for, you know, more fun. But you know, I love this industry. It's given me a life like I could never imagine. Like I said, I barely graduated high school. I couldn't keep a job at fucking Dollar General. And you know, I really applied myself in this industry, and like I progressed like extremely fast. Like I started off as a tech through this one company that I started off. So, you know how we learn from mistakes? So, I was in the treatment center when they first gave me the shot, and she was like, you know, on the weekends they do weekend activities and like, you know, the beach. So as a tech, you drive them to the beach. You know, you do head count before and head count after. So, you know, usually when you take clients to the beach, they all go in the water. Mm-hmm. Usually towards the end when you're trying to pull everybody out, they're like, fuck you. Right. I'm not coming in. Fuck you. You're like, no, it's time to go. Like, yeah, fuck you. And so it's like that constant back and forth. So I look over at this one tech. I'm like, listen, if I have to go in this water, like, I'm not driving. I'm going to be wet, sandy. Like, I just don't want to drive. She's like, all right, no problem. So long story short, I end up going in the water, pull everybody out. So I get in the van. I hop in my buddy's van. We do the head count, and we go back. And it was just about done with the shift or whatever, so I hop in the pool. There's a pool on premises. I just get all like the sand and I'm ready. And I get a call from my supervisor. Ooh. Yo, where the fuck's van 3? Van 3 was my van that I drove. Van 3 is on A1A. Not only is it on A1A, it's with the keys in the ignition and like 12 clients just running amok on Las Olas.
Wait, so you left the van?
I left a van full of clients at the beach with the keys.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
You think I would have got fired? I didn't.
That's insane.
Where was the train of thought there?
Yeah.
Like, were you just
so you were
because
helping...
I basically pushed off my responsibility because I verbally said, listen, if I get in the water...
But you were thinking somebody else was going to bring it back?
Yeah, somebody was supposed to bring it back, but that person ended up leaving.
Oh, touche.
Oh, so they left their post.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was my van.
Right.
So I was like, I justified the shit out of it. Like, this is what I did. I had it all set up. They're like, no, this is your van.
Right. Well, I mean, that's better than just completely forgetting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You were saying. You're just
I didn't like forget about it or anything, but like, left 12 clients with a key to a van
and none of them bailed or tried to drive that bitch?
There was one guy that was like really like butthurt about it. Like he was highly offended. But like there's this one kid from New York, Angel, I'll never forget it, dude. I had to go back to the beach and dude, he just comes up, dude, with this fucking clipboard. He's like, yo, Pauly, I got it. Everybody's here. This one guy's walking down A1A because he's really mad right now. But everybody is here. Here's the head count. They're in the van.
Damn.
I was like, all right. So
give him a job.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope that kid's still clean, man. His name is Angelo. He's the coolest kid in the world from New York. But so you know, obviously it was like right before like 4th of July. I remember it because I was like, I just passed like, you know, it was like over 90 days, so I was like in, you know, holiday pay and time and a half and all that shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a little bit extra money, and they're like, no, you're suspended. So, you know, I learned from it.
Yeah.
You know, like my head counts were definitely on point. I didn't like assign anybody my van, like, and you know, I did really well with that company. And, you know, just being young, immature and things like that, you know, I ended up getting fired from that company. But one thing I learned, like I said, I want to keep people in my corner.
Right.
I could have been pissed off, like, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. You know, it was like, I got fired over like a practical joke that I may have took a little too far. I like, my supervisor, he like put something on my car, like a sticker. And this was like probably like 3 weeks after my suspension. So, you know, just coming back, you know, the weekend activities. And they're like, you get to stay back. So I was kind of pissed on that, and I just made like a men seeking men's Craigslist of my supervisor with like his picture and his phone number.
Damn, so, you got blown up.
Oh my god.
What was the wordage on that ad?
Probably nothing good.
Nothing good.
Okay, so he's pulling out his phone so he can pull up the screenshot of this ad that he made. But
so anyway, I got fired over that, you know, and
I'd have to imagine so.
I thought
you got fired a lot, dude.
How'd they know it was you?
Because me being me, I don't want anybody else to take fucking credit for it. My other supervisor, ego is definitely in the play. Everybody's like, oh, this is great. He's going nuts. Like, I was like, that was me.
And then he's like, good job.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, the owner called me. He's like, oh, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, hey, just come in tomorrow. So I was like, hey, listen, I fucked up. I understand. I thank you for the opportunity. I hope we can still, have a relationship after this. And, to that day, like, she's always been in my corner. You know what I mean? So, like, that's how I approach things. I progressed into another job, started off as a tech.
Don't burn any bridges.
Don't burn any bridges. I burned enough bridges, like, ripping and running.
Yeah.
And, like, when I got clean, like, the people that we have the opportunity to surround ourselves with are people just like us that has made, like, an amazing life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, that's what I want. I don't want to be the richest guy in the world. I want to just be, like, okay. Like, I want to make my bills are paid and, like, my family's okay. I can kind of do what I want to do. I can have some nice things, and not worried about, like, the lights are going to stay on. That's, like, that's what I want out of life.
Right.
And anything after that, just a benefit.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want it.
Icing on the cake,
but, like, that's what I want. So, went to another job. I worked my way up to, like, director of housing in the treatment industry, and I was miserable. It was a good job. It was miserable or whatever. And then I went to this company, and, like, I worked my way up the whole corporate ladder. 3 years. And so it's been a crazy journey, but, like, one I wouldn't change for the world.
Yeah, you said some interesting stuff, and, like, what I was just thinking in my head, and this is really intriguing because I asked you, about changing career paths, and then you kind of reflected on your career in the past 5 years and the steps you took to get to where you are now, right? And it seems like you're correlating, your personal recovery with your growth in your career and everything, and I think that's amazing. But do you think that you would be where you're at today or just as successful if you were in another career? Like something completely not related to the treatment industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can apply what I do into, like, any aspect of my life.
Yeah.
That's a great thing about this,
Yeah. And that kind of ties into, like, what I want to talk about next. And Frank and I were listening to something on the way over here, and they were talking about living in your purpose, right? So, like, throughout this journey, like, I've got a spiritual connection, with whatever, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, and that has brought me to a point where that I know that what I'm doing now, what I'm working on in my career, the photo video work and different things, is I feel like that is what I've been meant. I feel like that for me is living in my purpose. I always had done it. I had did it, toyed around with it in high school, college, and even in the past 5 years in and out, but never took the time and the energy to focus on it and be like, yo, this is, like, really what I want to do, because I completely lose myself in it and I enjoy it and I have fun and it doesn't feel like I'm working. Do you feel like working in that industry is living in your purpose, or do you feel like your purpose could potentially be somewhere else and you just don't know?
So the industry that I work in and that I've been working in, like, I do feel like this is something I'm very good at. I love it. I just don't. I want to work for myself in this industry.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I respect that.
So,
for sure.
I have, a lot of opportunities, coming off of retirement, to where, I can take one job that's, I know the people at the great people. It's a great business, you know what I mean? I have the opportunity of basically taking over a whole facility and running it, from before, they're about to open in a few weeks. And, it's a lot of work, and I find myself back and forth, I'm gonna have to, like, put my dreams on hold because I'm gonna have to sign a non-compete, which isn't a big deal, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that, but it's also kind of scary because, obviously the company's protecting themselves. If I have my own company, 100%, especially in this industry. You don't want people, taking client information or taking employees and stuff like that. So, obviously, but, like, when you're on the other end,
right,
and you have, like, a family, like, God forbid something doesn't work out, then, like, depending on who you're working for, or, what the whole situation on how you leave and things like that, they kind of, like, take your, what you do to make a living, like, out from under you.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, like, it's scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know what tomorrow, like, all I know is that, like, I can definitely do it. I know what I have to do, I'll put 150%, 200% into like, you know, it. But like I'm gonna have to put my dreams on hold and build somebody else's dream. And I just did that for 3 years. So like having this opportunity and like having my whole perspective, you know, changed over the last like 6 months, and like 100, like almost 100%, like is literally due to you guys. Like no bullshit. I'm not saying because I'm on like the podcast or whatever. Like if I feel like, you know, I met Drew for a reason, and like his like aspect on life and, you know, his motivation and like what he does, like it makes sense, you know, because if this was me like 6 months ago, I'd be in a whole different place. You know, I'd just be
probably just would have been like, nope, I'm not coming over.
Nope.
Not
Bro,
doing it.
listen, when he asked me, I was like, why the fuck is he asking me, first of all? And then like I don't, like, you know, my head's like, I ain't got shit to say.
Right, it always says
but
that,
like, you know, fear is the absence of faith.
Right,
you
right.
know, in order, you know, to change, you have to get uncomfortable. Because I'm not comfortable doing this.
Yeah, near
Now
am I
it's like,
still.
But, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, you know what I mean? You know, so it's like...
I love the topic of like building someone else's dream, or, you know, working towards your own. And like that was like one of the quotes in one of the books that we read, like really kind of like I wrote it down, and like I look at it all the time. And, you know, I feel like for certain people, like it's totally okay to be, you know, working as a resource for someone else's success, or working as a resource for someone else's dream, because everyone is at where they're at in their life. And certain people have certain opportunities and time. You know, you might be in a place right now where, you know, if you don't have X amount of money saved up, and, you know, your partner doesn't make X amount of money, and there are things that need to be, then you're limited onto what you can do. So it's totally okay for you to say, okay, you know, I'm going to go work for this person, and yeah, I'm going to help them, you know, reach their goal, but you're also achieving success for yourself.
Absolutely.
In the fact where if they're a person that you respect, and the company is doing something that you believe in and you can stand behind it, then you're getting paid, but you're also getting paid to learn, and you're working for a whole nother team of people with a whole nother mindset.
Yeah.
So you're putting another notch in your belt with people that I'm sure you're going to have an incredible experience.
Yeah. And I've been talking to like a lot of people that I'm close to and stuff, you know, it's more experience under my belt, you know. It's crazy how everything worked out, you know. I had, you know, it was like in income tax season, you know, so we had like 2 kids, the house, you know what I mean? So like my tax, you know, it was good. So like it all kind of fell in place, you know, like so my mortgage paid, cable, all that is, you know, it's good. I just can't buy shoes, you know. That's the only
You have
good
enough,
thing.
so you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
You got enough, yeah.
I got way more than enough. And so it's crazy how it all worked out. So, but like, you know, it's coming to a point where, you know, it's like I have to make a decision, and I know what I'm gonna do. It's just, you know, fear.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you write down stuff? Like physically write stuff?
But like pros, cons, and or
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah. Have you done that? Have you written like
no,
a list?
My girls told me to do it. I haven't done it. You know.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll do it. But like when you actually physically look at it on a piece of paper, you know, look, if like one list is longer than the other, you're like, dude, this just, I mean, it makes sense, you know? It makes sense.
You know, it's just that you always have the fear of failing. But like I'm reading a book right now, it's called Failing Forward. And like my girl picked it up a while ago. She's like, oh, you should read this. And I was like, obviously a fucking self-help book. She's like, I am. Now I went to like North Carolina a few weeks ago, and then like I brought the book with me because I had just finished one of the books, the 7 mistakes.
Okay.
So I just finished it. So I really put in like a lot of effort to try to like do this book a month thing. And so I brought it with me, and you know, I had a great weekend. So I'm at the airport, and my flight was delayed like 3 hours.
You smashed that book.
I smashed it.
That's sick, dude.
Smashed it. I'm just in the
Because
airport.
otherwise you would have been fucking sitting there go scrolling through Instagram.
Yeah.
Or some
Looking
dumb
at
shit.
looking at
you know?
shoes that you don't.
Yeah,
And
can't
dude, and you
afford.
I love that because there's so much to be gained from books.
Yeah.
And people there are resources out there that people just don't take advantage of, and instead of wasting fucking 3 hours on some bullshit, you can actually invest in yourself and your attitude and your mindset and your perspective, and you can change the way you feel by building up your arsenal of tools for yourself.
Like right now, like I deal with a lot of like self-worth, self-esteem, and things like that. You know, some things like we always struggle with coming in. You know, but my big thing is, you know, I have a lot of responsibilities. You know, so like failing, you know, it's super scary. But like people are afraid to fail, but like, you know, you learn from failure. It's about how you know, perceive those failures. You know, this book, you know, talks about like Chick-fil-A, like the owner of Chick-fil-A. You know, he had a different restaurant, opened it was great. Something happened. He got like sick, got better, opened up like another business, another restaurant. It burnt down. Then he was in the hospital for like 7 months, and he had to make a decision whether, like, you know, to rebuild or start something else. And, you know, he looked at his business and like his chicken was selling like crazy. So he made Chick-fil-A from that. Like he just went through this like huge failure, sick, and, you know, it was just about like, if, you know, how we perceive failure. And
you hear it all the time, man. Like a lot of those stories are based on that. People failing, people, and I think that's the most.
You're only a failure when you call it quits.
Right,
you know
right.
I mean?
And it's exciting.
It moving.
Yeah,
you know?
It's exciting for me. Like I just started this new job, and more than anything, you know, I knew that it was a different industry. I knew that it was going to be a challenge, and it has been for the past 2 weeks. It's been a challenge mentally, physically, but that possibility of failing or you know, what anyone would perceive as failing, to me is exciting. You know, like it's like an adrenaline rush for me, and I love it.
Because that's where the growth is.
Yeah.
That's where the change is. You know, and I'm glad that you just mentioned that the past 2 weeks, because I feel like the podcast and it has been slacking. You know, we've been kind of like lackadaisical with it.
Yeah.
But look, dude, you're out here 2 weeks into a new job and a career. Jesse's out here with a fucking promotion.
Yeah.
And I'm out here starting my own fucking business.
Yeah.
So the three of us who started the podcast 90 days ago are all going through major changes, but everything that we've talked about and everything that we've mentioned in this, we're taking that shit, applying it into our life, and seeing the fucking results.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge, you know? And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh man, we haven't posted on Instagram in 3 days. So fucking what? Who gives a shit?
A notification.
You know?
Today
Yeah,
that
me
we
too.
haven't.
Dude, like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm doing other shit, but like, it's important to do that stuff, you know? And like, you know, like I was, I have this strategy for my personal Instagram, because I'm trying to build that where it's a post a day, and I have a different thing that I post about every day, and it's like a rotating
I'm doing the
thing.
same thing. Trying to.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And you know what? Like, one of my things that I'm going to do now, and I'm saying it out loud, is I'm going to do it for the podcast. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be putting out a post a day, you know, about something, and I'll get your guys' input on what we're going to do. Maybe we'll do it just Monday to Friday, you know, and we'll talk about what we're gonna share. So that way I keep designing stuff and we keep getting out there. But it's awesome, you know. Like I was thinking, like, oh shit, like Facebook this, Instagram that. It's like, dude, who fucking cares?
Right.
Because we're actually living what we're talking about,
right.
And there are very few people who do that, you know. So you know, I'm glad that you're at your new job and you're 2 weeks in, and like I haven't been talking to you as much the past 2 weeks, because usually we'd be texting while you're at work. I know you're fucking working and you're learning because you're not answering me. That's fucking awesome. Same thing with Jesse, dude. He's, you know, I'm busy. You know, Jesse got a promotion. I don't fucking hear from him. You know, but the thing is I'm able to work in front of my computer, and I always have my text messages up, so I'm always reaching out to different people and talking to people, and you know, trying to, you know, just spread myself out as far as I can. So, you know, and it's totally okay that, you know, we're not, you know, answering each other, and, you know, being, you know, the presence online isn't there. But like, look, it's been, you know, 3.5 months, and we said we were going to do an episode a week, and we've done it. We started off, we recorded a bunch, we had 3 or 4 in the bank, and like, it's been kind of stressful the past couple weeks, because we usually are recording a few days beforehand. Now we're doing the day before, so it's like we have very minimal room for error right now. And you know, I just, you know, I appreciate you guys that we were able to get together, and I know that, you know, everyone is working and doing their own fucking thing, and like, we're still all here, you know, 3 months down the road, 3.5, and like in another 3 months we're still gonna be here, and we're gonna be talking about some other shit that's gonna be even more fucking fired up than what right now is. And it's just an amazing thing. And you know, shout out to Jesse for always having us with the best fucking crispest sound out here.
Yep.
You know,
Killing the sound.
if anyone is looking
this
to,
is very professional.
yeah. If anyone's looking to record, you know, their acoustic project. You know, if anyone wants to lay down a track to
Jesse's
some beats,
got like a
you know,
a
we
good
got
20
someone who can
minutes
sell beats
a week.
We know where to get beats. Jesse can get you on the mic.
Yeah.
He can produce your first EP.
Ooh.
You know, whatever you need. He's
Whatever
got
you need. Jesse got like 20 minutes a week that
Yeah, I
he can
got like
schedule you
15
in.
minutes a week. I can squeeze somebody in.
15 minutes a week. That's perfect, dude.
Dude, that's all you
15
need.
minutes a week.
You got
dude.
one take. You better make it right.
That's you can 15 minutes. That's 3 tracks.
Yep.
3 5-minute tracks.
Christian's right
Done.
though. There's no do-overs.
No do-overs.
First take is all you get.
That's it.
That's how we do the podcast.
That's how we do the podcast.
No clipping.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Paul, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for so much for coming out. I know
Appreciate
we're
it, man.
far away. You live far away. You drove to get here, and
Where'd you cut? Down south?
Nah, I live in Boca now.
Yeah.
I'm a Boca.
so technically
All right.
south.
West.
All right.
Yeah,
Technically
West
south, but
Boca.
not too
West
far
Boca.
Yeah.
West.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes or there's a little bit of an accident or something. Somebody got a little too crazy at spring break probably.
There's
Yeah.
always shit traffic in Boca.
You ever like accidents, but it's on the other side, but it causes traffic on your side?
Yeah.
Because
That's
everyone's
like where I was
looking.
living
The old
for.
rubberneckers.
Yeah.
Rubber.
All right, guys. Make sure to leave a rating. Leave an honest rating. Any feedback helps us, please. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
Shout out to Frank Law, dude.
Cut the tape, dude. Cut the tape, dude.